Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. Listen, go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, and that notification bell like the prompter asks you to do. Ask you to do. All right, good people. All right, so let's talk about what's going on. We got crypto taking a dip. I wouldn't call it a dump because it's kind of been a little range bound. It was taking a dip, but Tesla, the RoboTaxi event. Let's start there. Now we know. Let's take things in perspective. The way that they've been rolled out to us. Okay, we got to look at all of the data. Yesterday was a holiday. The market was closed. Wednesday we had the Fed meeting. Okay, so the Fed meeting was Wednesday. And we understood that he was, he's holding the rates. He's not decreasing. We knew that, right? It was already priced in. So it was a big fat nothing burger. But remember, it takes about 48 hours for the market to decipher everything that's going on, right? We do have tension with the Middle East that has been weighing on the market. The market absorbed that. And the market had a lot of negative headwinds, but it's been absorbing it, all right? Just taking it, like a superhero. But I will tell you this, there's a lot of things that could happen, and one is a ramp up. The president said 2 weeks before he gives a decision. He's got the 2 week thing. Every answer, 2 weeks, all right? Hey, when are you going to pay the mortgage? 2 weeks. That's a joke, y'all. All right, so he said 2 weeks. So we got a stay there, but things could ramp up between Israel and Iran over the weekend. Remember, with war, there's always something major that happens over the weekend. They wait for the weekend. Now, that could be weighing on the market. So let's look at Tesla and let's see what's going on. Let's look at the indices first. Now, I'm filming this, good people, just 40 minutes before closing, and you can see that the NASDAQ has just been absolutely just tanking. It ran up and then it turned around and went down. Ran up first and then just fell like a brick, okay? It tried to come back up, back down again. That's the NASDAQ. Remember, this is the next trading day after a Fed meeting. This is kind of normal, good people. We could see that the Dow and the S&P, a little flattish, okay? But this doesn't surprise us, right? Tesla, let's look at it. It went a little positive this morning. There was some buying this morning. They bought it up, and it's been selling off as the day go on. Even if you look at the last 5 days, it's really indecision, okay? So I tell you who's not buying. Who's not buying are the big dogs, the big boys, the institutions. They're not buying. They haven't been buying, and they're waiting, right? The last meeting that Tesla had, remember they had the dancing robots and they were serving drinks and all of that, and he had this big hoopla, and then, just like the Wizard of Oz, you found out that there was someone behind the curtains pulling the strings to make the robots do the thing, and it was a big fat nothing burger. Well, I'm going to play a video for you, and I want you to listen because this is not going to be a big event at all.
Tesla's RoboTaxi service set for a trial launch in Austin, Texas this weekend. Phil LeBeau has a look at what to expect. Hey, Phil.
Joe, if you are expecting a lot of hoopla and a lot of Tesla zooming around Austin, you might want to dial back your expectations. We don't know exactly what Tesla will show on Sunday or much at all. But the expectation is that this is going to be somewhat of a subdued launch of the RoboTaxi service. There will be a limited number of RoboTaxis that will be starting their service. And keep in mind, the customers are by invitation. So it's not like if you're in Austin this weekend and say, I want to take a RoboTaxi. That ain't the way it's going to work. You will have to be invited by Tesla. And I'm sure they've already got the people marked who will be testing the vehicles. It will also be in a geo-fenced area of Austin. So again, it's not like they're going all over Central Texas, going from Austin to Pflugerville and back. they're going to be in a small area. And also keep in mind, the RoboTaxis will, while they will not have drivers in them, and they will be Model Ys that have the latest autonomous vehicle technology, there will be remote drivers who will be watching the vehicles at all times. So how does Wall Street look at this? Two ways to look at this. Let's look at the Uber bull, Dan Ives. He's on all the time. He thinks that Tesla is the future and that Elon Musk is building an incredible company. He writes, we believe over the coming years, we will see RoboTaxi deployed in 20 to 25 cities in the U.S. You want something a little more cautious? Take a look at what Baird had to say. Ben Callow saying, Musk has said there will be hundreds of thousands of vehicles on the road by the second half next year. We model 6,000. Keep in mind that while this launch is getting a lot of attention right now as you take a look at shares of Tesla, the real event for investors will likely happen, two of them, over the next several weeks. You get the second quarter deliveries early July, and then you get second quarter results probably in the third week of July. That's what's likely to move the stock. Do I think that the shares will move a little bit higher this after Sunday, guys? Maybe, but if it's going to be a muted launch, which is what the expectation is at this point, I think people may have to dial back expectations in terms of how shares of Tesla may react.
Now, make no mistake, I am micro negative on Tesla and macro bullish, meaning the fight he just had with the president weighed heavy negatively on Tesla. It's just one of those things where even if your father was wrong and he whoops your brother, then you'll be mad at your father. And that's the president, so to speak, in your mind, right? But if your brother turn around and knock your dad out, now you have a problem with your brother because it was disrespectful. That's the way I feel about the whole deal. You know, just to leave your politics out, people did not like it. And they showed the way they started dumping Tesla when him and the president started going after it. Follow? And so I don't think that is over. He's erratic for a CEO. People don't put confidence in that. Of course, DJT stock also fell. People do not like wars, of course, with CEOs of our investment. We want them to be concentrated on making us money. Now, because of that lack of confidence, I've been saying over and over and over, and I'm going to keep saying it, there's a thin line between brilliance and cray-cray, and Elon is both. I've been saying that for 4 years, 5 years, and people just have a problem with that. Well, now you see Kanye West too. But anyway, look, you gotta read the tea leaves, and you gotta zoom out and see what's going on. I believe it's not going to be a big deal. I don't believe it's going to be a big deal. That's what I'm saying. And me personally, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm not doing. I'm not doing a call and holding it over. Now, you do your own due diligence. Listen, Larry is not telling you not to do a call. Larry's saying that he's not doing a call on Tesla, and because it's too much to risk and it's a huge gamble. Okay. The fact of the matter is nobody really knows. Now, if I wanted to dip my toe into something, I would probably not do a call. I'll be doing the polar opposite of that. But there's opportunity just to be patient, sit on the sideline, do nothing. And if it dips, then you buy. Because long term, I am bullish. Yes, will Tesla hit 2 trillion? Yes, I believe Tesla will hit 3 trillion. Tesla will one day be a $3 trillion company, right? Let's take another listen at this.
Thanks for having me, Brad. This launch really, in my opinion, is the bold announcement on the next phase of the software-defined vehicle. And what I would say there is Tesla's approach is really around data, and them entering the auto taxi is just the next step for them because they have over 2 million self-driving vehicles on the roads already. So their strategy is about collecting more data, which we know for AI really drives the AI engine, and that gives them a real advantage, and one that I think will ultimately win out over the competition.
We've heard from Elon Musk.
Let's just leave it right there, good people, because you see. So he further goes on and talk about Tesla being an AI company, which I believe it is. It's all about the data, collecting data. All right. Now, Waymo is Waymo head of Tesla. See how I put that together? Waymo, I got to say it again. Waymo is Waymo ahead of Tesla as it pertains to autonomous driving and RoboTaxis. I believe they're just way more advanced. And I know some people believe that Tesla is the end all, but it's not. There's competition out there, okay? So let's look at crypto, Bitcoin. It's going down, good people. It's going down. And I've been buying dips. I'm still dollar cost averaging, still in, all right? I am still in. Now, I showed the people in Money Moves where it's range bound, okay? And I believe it's 94K is where I would, be fearful if it breaks beneath there, all right? This is me. I'm not going off anybody else's charts. I'm going off of how I make money. I will tell you guys this. It's simple for me. I don't think crypto is over. I think this dip is, I think that we are heading towards a dip in crypto. We're already in it. And the stock market, what I've been saying towards the end of this month, which we are, okay? Today is the 20th, okay? And I just been expecting a dip, not a massive sell-off, just a dip at the end of this month. But I am still long. So is it a buying opportunity? Long term, yes. Short term, maybe not. So what I'm doing is, usually I would just buy big chunks of this dip, but I'm just going to dollar cost average, and then I'm not going to cut my dollar cost average machine off. I know somebody said, if you think it's going to dip, then cut it off. No, I got my positions the way I have it. I have most of mine in Bitcoin. So I'm good because I believe long-term this will pay off. And then if it starts to drop, meaning Bitcoin and all crypto, then I'm going to buy heavier lower. Follow? That's Larry's strategy. I have a lot of cash on the sidelines. Okay. 5 figures I got on the sidelines, just geared towards crypto dips. And I'm going to buy. And I know what's going to happen. If we start breaking down like we have every other time, everybody's going to be, not everybody, people are going to be out there saying, this is it, sell it, it's over. And for those of us that are mostly Bitcoin and we're accumulating for the long time, we don't have the fears of someone that just have all of their money in meme coins, okay? All of their money in fart coin because it was ripping. That's just not a good idea, good people. All right? Hey, come join us. Money Moves. It's going to be the top link below. Money Moves. Come join us. Learn and earn. Hey, for those of you, if you are in the Options for Dummies class, just let the people know how it's working for you, right? All right, good people. I hope you have a blessed and safe weekend. And remember, don't overtrade when it's not sure. Whether this RoboTaxi event is really great and he pulls a rabbit out of his hat and says there's going to be 10,000 of them on the street Tuesday, it's just not worth you putting thousands of dollars in on a bet that you don't have anything solid to bag it up. I just would not do that. Win or lose, I'm going to go on record and say I would not do that. All right, good people, have a blessed weekend. Live, love, laugh, and learn. Make sure you come and join us. Money Moves.